Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Encountering Chinese channel. Festival Edition. Today is the traditional Chinese holiday, the Mid-Autumn Festival. So, what is the Mid-Autumn Festival all about? Let me take you through the origins, mythological stories, folk customs, and taboos associated with the Mid-Autumn Festival. The Mid-Autumn Festival, also known as Moon Festival, Autumn Festival, Eighth Month Festival, Eighth Month Gathering, and Moon Chasing Festival, among others, as the names suggest, are mostly related to the moon and have a long history. In most regions, this festival is celebrated on the 15th day of the 8th month of the lunar calendar, but in some places, it is observed on the 16th day of the 8th lunar month. The Mid-Autumn Festival can be traced back to the early years of the Tang Dynasty and flourished during the Song Dynasty, even becoming one of the traditional festivals alongside the Spring Festival. Some scholars believe that the origin of the Mid-Autumn Festival is connected to ancient imperial worship activities, as recorded in the Book of Rites. It mentions, "The Son of Heaven faces the sun in spring and the moon in autumn," indicating that as early as the spring and autumn period, emperors had already begun to worship and pay homage to the moon. Later, nobles, officials, and literati followed suit, gradually spreading the practice to the common people. Other scholars argue that the festival's origin is linked to agricultural production, as autumn is the season of harvest. In the 8th month of the lunar calendar, crops and various fruits ripen one after another. To celebrate the bountiful harvest and express joy, people chose the day of the Mid-Autumn as a festival. Mid-Autumn literally means the middle of autumn, and the 8th month of the lunar calendar falls in the middle of the autumn season, with the 15th day being the midpoint of that month. Therefore, the Mid-Autumn Festival likely originated as a folk festival passed down through generations to celebrate abundance. Some historians also suggest that during the early years of the Tang Dynasty, the 15th day of the 8th lunar month was a day for distributing military pay. General Pei Ji, during the Tang Dynasty, was inspired by the round moon to successfully resolve the issue of supplying a large army recruited from the anti-Sui rebellion. These three theories remain subjects of debate in the field of historical studies to this day. So, what are the mythical legends associated with the Mid-Autumn Festival? The most famous mythological legend is that of Chang'e flying to the moon. According to legend, in ancient times, there were 10 brothers who were the suns. Each day, they took turns rising into the sky, casting their radiant light upon the earth. However, one fateful day, a great calamity befell the land. All 10 suns appeared in the sky simultaneously, their scorching rays withering crops and causing immense suffering among the people. Amid this crisis, a hero named Hou-Yi emerged. He was known for his immense strength and kind heart. Witnessing the people's plight, Hou-Yi was moved to action. He drew his divine bow and, with a single breath, shot down 9 of the 10 suns. The last remaining sun, trembling with fear at the fate of its brothers, heeded Hou-Yi's warning. It promised to rise and set on schedule, allowing humanity to return to their normal lives. Hou-Yi's courageous deeds became legendary, spreading far and wide across the land. Many young individuals came from near and far, eager to learn from him. However, among his students were some with ill intentions, and one of them was named Peng Meng. Hou-yi had a beautiful wife named Chang'e. When he wasn't teaching his apprentices the art of hunting, he cherished moments spent with his beloved wife. Their love for each other was deep and unwavering. One day, Hou-yi went to Kunlun Mountain to visit friends and seek enlightenment. There, he obtained a packet of immortal elixir from the gods. They told him that by consuming this elixir, he could immediately ascend to the heavens and become a deity. However, Hou-yi was unwilling to leave his wife behind and become a god, so he entrusted the immortal elixir to his wife to keep it safe. Chang'e concealed the elixir in a precious box on her dressing table. 3 days later, Hou-yi and his apprentices set out for a hunting expedition. Crafty Peng Meng, pretending to be ill, stayed behind and did not accompany them. As soon as Hou-yi and the others had left, Peng Meng entered the inner courtyard with a sword in hand, threatening Chang'e to hand over the immortal elixir. Knowing she was no match for Peng Meng, in this dire moment, she opened the precious box and swallowed the elixir in a single gulp. After ingesting the elixir, Chang'e felt her body becoming light as air, lifting off the ground. Her body soared out of the door and ascended into the sky. Chang'e had transformed into a deity. However, she still longed for her husband and did not want to go too far, so she descended and landed on the moon, the celestial body closest to the earthly realm. In the evening, when Hou-yi returned home, the maids tearfully recounted the events of the day. Hou-yi was both shocked and furious. He reached for his sword, intending to track down and punish the villain Peng Meng. However, by that time, Peng Meng had already escaped. Hou-yi was overwhelmed with anger and grief, pounding his chest in despair. He looked up at the night sky, calling out for Chang'e. To his surprise, he noticed that the moon that night was exceptionally bright and clear, and there was a flickering figure on the moon that resembled Chang'e. Hou-yi missed his wife deeply and decided to honor her memory. He sent people to her favorite garden, where they placed candles and laid out sweet fruits and delicacies that Chang'e loved to eat. They held a ceremony to worship Chang'e in the Moon Palace. Upon hearing the news of Chang'e becoming an immortal on the moon, the people also began setting up candles under the moonlight, praying to the kind-hearted Chang'e for blessings and peace. From that day on, the tradition of moon worship during the Mid-Autumn Festival spread among the common people. The second legend is about Wu Gang's chopping laurel. Legend has it that there was a celestial being named Wu Gang in the Moon Palace. He was originally from Shihe during the Han Dynasty and had followed immortals to cultivate his spiritual path, eventually ascending to the heavenly realm. However, he made a mistake in the celestial realm, and as a punishment, the immortals banished him to the Moon Palace. There, his daily task was to chop down the laurel tree in front of the Moon Palace as a form of penance. However, this laurel tree grew vigorously, reaching over 500 feet tall, and every time he chopped one down, the wound would immediately heal. The great Tang Dynasty poet Li Bai even mentioned this in his poem, To Censor Chui, Wang Kunji, saying, "Desiring to cut the laurel tree in the moon, he holds them as fuel for the cold." This means that Wu Gang wanted to cut down the laurel tree in the Moon Palace to use them as firewood to keep the poor warm during the winter. The third legend is about the jade rabbit pounding medicine. Legend has it that Chang'e had a jade rabbit by her side. When Chang'e's body became lighter and she began to ascend to the sky, in her fear, she picked up a white rabbit that she had nurtured for many years. The white rabbit followed her and flew to the moon together. Since then, the jade rabbit has been inside the moon palace, using a pestle to pound medicine in order to recreate the elixir of immortality. After this myth was passed to Japan, it transformed into the story of the jade rabbit pounding mochi, a type of rice cake. The fourth legend tells the story of Emperor Tang Xuanzong of the Tang dynasty, Li Longji. Legend has it that one year, on the Mid-Autumn Festival, Emperor Tang Xuanzong was gazing at the moon with the Taoist sage Master Shen and the Daoist priest Hongdu. Suddenly, Emperor Tang Xuanzong felt a strong desire to visit the moon palace. Master Shen then performed his magical arts, and the three of them ascended on a path of azure clouds, embarking on a journey to the moon palace. However, there were guards at the entrance to the moon palace, and they were unable to enter. Instead, they could only look down upon Chang'an, the imperial city of the earthly realm. During this moment, they suddenly heard music playing inside the moon palace. Emperor Tang Xuanzong was well versed in music theory and memorized the melodies he heard that day. Upon returning to the earthly realm, Emperor Tang Xuanzong recalled the music and songs he heard outside the moon palace and documented them, turning them into a dance. This dance became the famous Nei Chong Yui dance in history. The last legend is the story of the mooncake uprising during the Yuan dynasty. Legend has it that the tradition of eating mooncakes during the Mid-Autumn Festival began in the Yuan dynasty. During that time, the people could no longer endure the cruel rule of the Yuan dynasty and rose in rebellion against their oppressors. Zhu Yuanzhang, along with various rebel forces, was preparing to stage an uprising. However, the government's officials and soldiers conducted thorough searches, making it extremely difficult to pass along messages. The military strategist Liu Bowen devised a clever plan. He ordered his subordinates to hide notes with the message, "Uprising on the night of the 15th day of the 8th month," inside mooncakes. These mooncakes were then distributed to different rebel forces, instructing them to initiate the rebellion on the night of the 15th day of the 8th month. On the day of the uprising, rebel forces from various regions acted in unison, achieving remarkable success. Soon, rebel General Sudik captured the Yuan dynasty's capital, securing a comprehensive victory. Upon receiving the news, Zhu Yuanzhang was elated and immediately issued an edict. He ordered that during the upcoming Mid-Autumn Festival, all soldiers and civilians should celebrate together. As a token of appreciation and a symbol of the mooncakes used to secretly transmit messages, he distributed mooncakes to his ministers. From that moment on, the tradition of eating mooncakes during the Mid-Autumn Festival began to spread among the people. Over time, the craftsmanship of making mooncakes became more refined, and the varieties multiplied. The legends of the Mid-Autumn Festival end here. So, what are some customs and traditions associated with the Mid-Autumn Festival? The tradition of moon gazing during the Mid-Autumn Festival is believed to have originated with ancient literati in the imperial court and gradually spread to the common people. As early as the Wei and Jin dynasties, there was a poem titled Autumn Moon, in the 40 Songs of Ziya, that described Looking up at the bright moon, my thoughts extend 1,000 miles. During the Tang Dynasty, the custom of appreciating and playing with the moon during the Mid-Autumn Festival became quite popular. Many famous poets composed verses dedicated to the moon, and the Mid-Autumn Festival began to be recognized as an official holiday. It was officially documented as the Mid-Autumn Festival on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month in the Book of Tang, Records of Emperor Taizong. By the Song dynasty, the 15th day of the 8th lunar month was officially designated as the Mid-Autumn Festival, and specific festival foods and moon worship customs emerged. Meng Yuanlao's Dreams of the Capital mentioned. On the Mid-Autumn night, wealthy families decorate their pavilions, while common people flock to restaurants to dine and admire the moon. In addition, newly recorded revelations of a drunken sage described the custom of moon worship, stating, "Families, regardless of their wealth, gather in groups, dressed in their best attire, and ascend towers or worship the moon in courtyards, making wishes." Mooncakes were originally used as offerings to the moon goddess. The term mooncake first appeared in Wu Zimu's Dreams of Liang during the Song dynasty. At that time, mooncakes were similar to other pastry-like cakes. Over time, people gradually combined the tradition of admiring the moon during the Mid-Autumn Festival with the consumption of mooncakes, symbolizing the reunion of family members. As time passed, the Mid-Autumn Festival became the second largest traditional festival after the Chinese New Year, and various regional customs with strong local characteristics developed. In the Puqing area of Fujian, it is customary for women to walk across Nanpu Bridge during the Mid-Autumn Festival to seek longevity. In Jianing, there is a tradition of hanging lanterns on Mid-Autumn night to seek good fortune for childbirth. In Shanghang County, when people celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, children will invite the Moon Lady during the moon worship ceremony. In Longyan, when eating mooncakes, parents will dig out a circular portion with a diameter of 2 or 3 inches from the center of the mooncake for the elders to eat. This signifies that certain secrets should not be revealed to the younger generation, and this custom is related to the legend of the Mooncake Rebellion. In various regions of Chaozhou and Shantou in Guangdong, there is a tradition of worshipping the moon during the Mid-Autumn Festival, mainly observed by women and children. In the evening, when the bright moon rises, women set up altars in courtyards and on balconies to offer prayers to the moon. The altar is adorned with fruits and pastries for offerings. Additionally, there is a custom of eating taro during the Mid-Autumn Festival. August of the lunar calendar is the season for harvesting taro, and local farmers traditionally use taro to pay homage to their ancestors. While this practice is related to agricultural activities, it is also associated with the legend of the Mooncake Rebellion. To commemorate the hardships of Yuan dynasty rule, later generations offer taro as a tribute to their ancestors, and this tradition has been passed down through the ages and still exists today. In some places, there is also a tradition of burning towers on Mid-Autumn night. These towers vary in height from 1 to 3 meters, and are constructed using broken tiles or bricks for the lower portion, accounting for about 1/4 of the tower's height, and then layered with tiles. There is an opening at the top of the tower for fuel. On Mid-Autumn night, the tower is set on fire using materials like wood, bamboo, and husk. When the fire burns brightly, fragrant incense powder is sprinkled to enhance the flames, creating a spectacular sight. There are also tower burning competitions in which participants vie to be the first to turn the tower red with heat. The winner receives a prize. It is believed that the tradition of burning towers is related to the historical event of the Han Chinese people using fire as a signal during the Mid-Autumn Uprising to resist oppressive rulers. In the Jiangnan region, the Mid-Autumn Festival boasts a rich tapestry of folk customs. In Nanjing, besides indulging in mooncakes, locals savor a renowned regional dish called gui huaya, known as osmanthus duck. This dish is characterized by its succulent and delectable flavors. After enjoying mooncakes, it's customary for people in Nanjing to relish some candied taro, drizzled with osmanthus sauce, a truly delightful treat. To celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, Nanjing residents gather with their families to admire the moon, a practice referred to as Qingtuanyuan, meaning celebrating togetherness. Families also come together to sit and enjoy drinks, known as a yuanyu, signifying the full moon, or they may embark on excursions to explore the streets together, a tradition known as a zouyu, or moonlit strolls. In Wuxi County, Jiangsu Province, people engage in the tradition of burning dou xiang, which are incense towers, on the night of the Mid-Autumn Festival. These incense towers are adorned with gauze and depict scenes from the Moon Palace. Some incense towers are crafted from stick incense, featuring paper-made star figures and colorful flags. In Shanghai, it is customary to enjoy osmanthus wine during family banquets on the Mid-Autumn Festival. In Jian County, Jiangxi Province, as evening falls on the Mid-Autumn Festival, every village lights up straw-fired tile pots. Once these tile pots glow red-hot, vinegar is poured inside, filling the entire village with the delightful aroma of vinegar. In Xinqiang County, the celebration of the Mid-Autumn Festival includes hanging tong chao dang, or rushlights, from the 11th to the 17th day of the 8th lunar month. In Anhui Province, on the day of the Mid-Autumn Festival, children construct a hollow pagoda using tiles, which is decorated with curtains. In the evening, they light candles around the pagoda, a practice known as jingtashin, or paying respects to the pagoda deity. In some regions, children create loud sounds by wetting and then striking straw braids against stones. Anhui Province also has the tradition of a huolong, or fire dragon, which is crafted from straw and adorned with incense sticks. People play drums and gongs while parading the fire dragon through various villages, and finally, they send it into the river, symbolizing blessings for favorable weather in the coming year. In Sichuan Province, people celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival by not only consuming mooncakes, but also making and enjoying other delicacies like duck dishes, sesame cakes, and honey cakes. Some areas also illuminate orange-shaped lanterns at their doorsteps as part of the celebration. Children sometimes insert incense into pomelos and dance with them in the streets, a tradition known as dance with shooting star incense balls. In Jiading County, there are rituals to honor the earth god, accompanied by various performance activities known as canhui, which are organized for the community to enjoy. If you're not familiar with the earth god, you can refer to the earlier story about Wang Lulang. In northern regions, such as Shandong Province, people pay respects to the god of cereals on the Mid-Autumn Festival. In Shaanxi Province, it's customary to host a feast for sons-in-law on this day. In Hebei Province, the Mid-Autumn Festival is celebrated as a mini New Year's Day, with activities like hill climbing for men, evening banquets arranged by women, and indulging in watermelon consumption. In essence, the Mid-Autumn Festival is a vibrant and lively holiday with diverse traditions and customs. Certainly, on such a festive occasion, there are also some taboos to keep in mind. Firstly, when giving gifts to loved ones, it's best to avoid giving items in odd numbers, as traditional Chinese beliefs associate odd numbers with loneliness. Additionally, gifts with inauspicious meanings in terms of pronunciation, such as shoes, clocks, umbrellas, and the like, should be avoided. Secondly, the moon worshipping ceremony is mostly conducted by women, symbolizing the hope of marrying a good husband. Therefore, it has become a humorous taboo for men not to participate in moon worship. Thirdly, the offerings used in the worship should have a round and smooth appearance, symbolizing family reunion and harmony. You can also consume the offerings, but it should be done after the ritual is over. Pears, as a homophone for separation, are best kept away from the altar to avoid the symbolism of separation. The last taboo relates to going out. In traditional customs, the Mid-Autumn Festival is a day of family reunion, and people try to gather together as much as possible. Consequently, going on long journeys on this day is naturally considered taboo. Of course, whether it's legends, customs, or taboos, they all reflect the Chinese people's beautiful aspirations for life. Please listen to them with an open mind. All right. Today's special program on the Mid-Autumn Festival concludes here. If you enjoy our channel, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Here's wishing you a happy Mid-Autumn Festival. See you in the next episode.